Hello developers, I'm Stone. So last tutorial we have learned how we can authenticate SharePoint using Java, that is single sign-on. So in last video I have told that I will show you how we can do multi-factor authentication also. So multi-factor authentication in other words, we can say that whenever you have username and password, whenever you are entering username and password in an login page, after you are entering also it asks for some more information like OTP or some secure key, some random generated key, whatever it may be. So that is like two-factor authentication. So today I will be showing how we can authenticate SharePoint to using Java, and bypass the two-factor authentication, not bypass. So genuinely we will access the adult token, and through adult token we will be able to fetch all the folders and the files and list all the documents inside inside our SharePoint. So for simplicity I have created a project for now, and as you can see I have two files now, main and minecrates. The minecrates actually contains the client ID and the client secret that you need to generate by registering your app in Azure portal. So that you can search in YouTube, you can find many videos where they have shown how you can register your app in Azure portal and get the client secret and the client ID. Okay, so for the security reason I cannot show you my minecrates file. It is a Spring Boot project, but for simplicity I have created a main class. So let's start with the implementation. Okay, but before starting the writing code, so today this video I will make it short. I have already have some ready-made code that I will copy and paste, and I will walk through that because the last video went to 57 minutes. That is quite more high. So I want to show you one picture. Okay, so basically here it shows how the authentication in backend takes place. So here it is the user. Okay, here this is the end user. So whenever end user is accessing any kind of Microsoft Azure application, whether it may be Outlook, whether it may be SharePoint, so first what happens, it navigates to the web page, means it makes a request to that SharePoint login page. So okay, after SharePoint login page, the login page reader through Microsoft Azure AD, through Microsoft directory, the login page appears to the web browser. Okay, so in the web browser the user have to enter the credential like username and passwords. Okay, so after entering the username and password, user must have to click the login button. Okay, so in that login button in backend what happens, the username and password comes to the Azure AD, and the Azure AD verifies it and generates a access and refresh token. Refresh token means how much the token is validated in how much interval the token will be getting refreshed. Okay, this is the step number 5. Okay, so after getting the access token, you can easily make a request to any of the suppose you are accessing SharePoint. After getting the access point, you can navigate to any of the folder. Simply what Azure will do, Azure has a principal authentication manager that will validate this access token, and if the access token is genuine, it will give you a response. So like this, actually in backend the things happens. Okay, it is not we are writing in code, but in backend this much things are happening. So let's start writing the code. Begin with the code. So as you can see, I have a main class. So let's create the main method here. So now we will use a closable HTTP client. I will tell you what is this. HTTP client is equal to HTTP clients dot create default. So the main entrance of HTTP client API is the HTTP client interface. Okay, so the closable HTTP client is an abstract class which has the base implementation of HTTP client. So whenever I am using this method create default, it will always return a new HTTP client instance. Okay, so now I will write a couple of methods. Just hold on, I will make you understand also. List of string it is generics. I am using generics. Bearer realm and resource ID. We will send the parameter, the HTTP client. Okay, list of string bearer to get bearer realm and resource ID. Okay, so let's create this method. Okay, now we have created this method. I have this method already with me. I will go through it. Yeah, this one is the method. So as you can see guys, I have pasted the videos. I will go through it. So I will tell you basically what is bearer realm and what is resource ID. So think like this, these two things are unique ID. Okay, bearer realm is an unique ID provided for each user. Whenever a user is trying to access any of the products of Microsoft through authentication, he or she must have to pass through the authentication. Then a bearer realm is also get created for that user. Okay, you must have to generate it to obtain the authorization code. Okay, so same just like bearer resource ID also is a unique ID. Okay, whenever we are accessing any resource, okay, any resource means whenever we are accessing any Microsoft product like SharePoint or something, if I am accessing some documents from the SharePoint, then a resource ID is also getting generated. That is also unique. Okay, so basically high level bearer realm and resource ID are those two things. So now you can see here two things. So now I am creating an array list. Okay, and this is the endpoint that we need to hit. Okay, and here I will make it demo. So so guys, as you can see, I have pasted the videos. I'll tell you high level what is bearer realm and resource ID. So bearer realm is something like a unique ID. Whenever a user is tries authenticate through Microsoft, a unique ID is gets generated against that user. So that is something like bearer realm. And resource ID, so whenever, so suppose I am accessing SharePoint, I have authenticated SharePoint, so that means I am accessing some resource of Microsoft. Okay, so that time a resource ID is also gets generated. Resource ID is also a unique ID that gets generated whenever you access an resource. Okay, so now as you can see, I am using this string format %s. So as you can see that this thing will be replaced with this domain. I cannot show my domain name as for any security reasons. Okay, so basically I will tell what this method is do. It will replace this %s2 with the my domain thing. Then the full URL will complete. Okay, now I am creating a array list. Okay, array list of string. Then I am making a get request. I am setting a header authorization and bearer similar. Okay, now I am since I am hitting an endpoint, I must be getting an response. Okay, so right now I am executing that get request. Okay, now to get the bearer realm and the client ID and from the headers, we need to we need to extract them. Okay, so as you can see, these two this is coming red because we have to create a method that will extract the header. Okay, the headers first, bearer DLM header and the client ID header. Okay, so let's write this method. So basically this is a very short method, filter method, that easily we can write. Okay, so basically we have to okay, I missed here one. So basically we have to extract the header here, so it must be saying to throw the exception, yeah, signature. Yeah, so basically it must be basically we have to extract the header based on this bearer alarm. Okay, whenever we match this thing, then we extract the value for that. Whenever we match the client ID, we need the value for that. So directly we will do a return. Let's make it array list dot as list headers dot stream dot map header dot get elements dot plot map elements will do elements what is the name we have given here? Elements So basically it must be saying to method signature, we will throw it. So basically what we are doing, we are getting an headers and we are getting the what is the property ID, so that we can extract the value. I am looping through it. I am using Java 8 stream and all those things. Here you can see I am doing a map, then I am getting the elements. After getting the elements, I am doing a filter. If it is if the get name equals to this then the client bearer realm, then again it will for client id, then give me the find fast get value, then give me the get value. Simple thing. Okay, it will return me every time. It will return the bearer realm, it will return the resource id. So we will add it with the response, then we will return this as a list of string. Okay, since we are throwing all those error, let's surround it with a try catch block. So since we have got the bearer realm and the resource id, we will extract the bearer realm and the resource id. Since ArrayList maintains the order, we will get the since it maintains the order the way we have inserted the element, the way we will get the elements also. So we have inserted bearer realm first, I am using the index 0. Similarly for the resource id, I will use the index 1. Then finally we want the bearer token. So three things we need to send. One is bearer realm, one is resource id, another one is the HTTP client to make the HTTP request. So let IntelliJ creates the method for us. Okay, since it has been created, so guys, you can see I have pasted the code to get the bearer token. Here you can see, here I am using the same string format method to replace this percentage with the bearer realm. Then I am using a post request with this URL. Okay, and I am setting some content type like application XML, JSON, whatever you want you can, but I have set it with application X URL encoded. Here the same thing I am doing here. The percentage it will be appended, whatever the client id will be there with my is there, this bearer realm will append this with the client id. Same thing, the resource id will be appended with the domain name, the SharePoint and the bearer realm. Okay, this thing do the same thing, it will append all those things. Okay, now if you see this name value pair and basic name value pair, I am sending something client id, client secret and resource. So if you mark whenever in Java we send some query parameter, like if you are running in localhost http :/localhost 8080/try, then user is equal to some and pass is equal to some. So this is the something like that query parameter, this name value pair and the basic name value pair. It is nothing but it will be appended with this URL. Okay, after making this post request, I am setting the entity as the params, whatever params I am want to set, I am setting the params here. Then I am after executing the post request, I am getting the response. As you can see here, I have already executed the request, and here I have the response with me. Now easily, so if you print this response, you can get the access token. You can see a property tag of access token. From that body, if you do that get string access token, it will return this bearer token. Okay, so if you will print the I will not print the, okay, let's print the JSON. You will have a better understanding. Okay, here I am also printing, also same thing I am printing. So let's run this application. Let's I hope you can use the access token and you can create some. For example, let's fetch some data, like I will show you. So here guys, you can see I have created one method which will fetch the base directory, that is shared documents. Whatever in the whatever files and folders in the shared documents is there, it will show. Okay, you can see I have created a multi-value hash map. Multi-value hash map, if anyone doesn't know, means a map simply contain one key and one value, but multi-value hash map can contain one key and multiple values. Okay, so that is multiple hash map. So it is the base type. So I am using the base type, and the linked multi-value hash map is the implementation time. So I am using the linked multi-value hash map. So this is something like dynamic binding. Okay, so I will cover something internal also in this in my video. So this is dynamic binding something. Okay, so I am using this REST template, and I will hit this endpoint. I cannot show the URL as this is against some security policy. I cannot show it. So it will be like HTTPS, like my SharePoint, whatever domain is your .sharepoint.com, the slash sites, then slash your site name, then slash get folder from server relative URL, then you have to put your address, then this expand folder and file. So let's run this. Okay, so here I have printed the response.getBounty. Okay, here it is saying to give a semicolon. I always forget this because currently now I am working on Scala. Here I am ending the video. Whatever pom.xml, whatever the file will be there, I will share it in GitHub page. So thank you guys. So please like, subscribe and comment. So it's like a new channel, so please help, please give your support so that I can grow. Okay guys, thank you, bye.